the BABOK is basically, it's mainly, it's again a huge specification document that is available, roughly about go to 350-page document. Now it is in version 3, and it is available only for the members of IIBA. So you need to be a member. So they send, you can access that in PDF format. And then it actually has this kind of, it breaks the whole content into these underlying kind of constructs. It says key concepts, tasks, underlying competencies or skills, I would say, and then techniques and tools, perspectives, and knowledge areas. This is how they break the whole content into. And then the key concepts is basically, just to give you an idea, it's the basic understanding of some of the key ideas, some of the key concepts within the BABOK. So what do I mean by key concepts? So it's, for example, there's a concept called as a BACCM, which is Business Analysis Core Concept Model. And then there is something called as Requirements Classification Schema. So these both would actually help you or provide some kind of a guidance on how you can structure the classifying of requirements, how you can structure and classify the requirements like the ones that we just saw before. It could be general requirement, technical requirement, or it could be any other non-functional requirement. All of those, there is a framework that the BABOK suggests, and you can follow that. The knowledge areas, on the other hand, is basically there are about 6 knowledge areas that the BABOK and the IIBA suggest. So they encompass the overall knowledge areas in terms of what is the overall structure that you have and how you can put all this content into one of that. So business analysis, planning and monitoring, that's one important thing. And it starts off with that, how you plan and monitor the whole thing. And then you start off with elicitation, collaboration. Elicitation is all about the gathering, the discovery. I think we talked about it. Uzma did talk about the discovery and the exploration of the requirements using different tools and techniques. We'll talk about each of them later. And then the requirement analysis and design definition, requirements lifecycle management, business process management, and finally the solution evaluation. So these are the kind of 6 broad areas where we as BAs could actually potentially work in the context of our life cycle. So whatever task or activity that we do, for example, if it's you're creating a wireframe, so that could potentially go in the requirements analysis and design. If you're creating a proposal in the pre-sale stage, that will go in the elicitation collaboration. If you're conducting a workshop, that again goes in the elicitation collaboration. If you are working on a business activity model, BAM, that could be a business process management activity. If you are trying to compare and contrast different solutions across different technologies, that is a solution evaluation. So whatever you do as BA, that could potentially fall into one or the other of these 6 knowledge areas. So it's important that you know that. And then when you apply, there are different certification tracks. I'm going to talk about that next week in detail, but so there are different certification tracks like CCBA, ECBA, Entry Certificate in Business Analysis, Chartered Certificate, and then there's the CBAP, Certified Business Analysis Professional. And then there are a lot of other agile related stuff. For all these certification tracks and exams and the learning, everything is actually driven by these things that we're looking at now. So it's important you just pay a little attention to this. And then the perspectives is about it gives you like, let's take out a perspective. So for example, if you're talking to a CTO or you're talking to a database administrator, you're talking technology. So the perspective is a technology. If you are speaking to, for example, a salesperson, his perspective is that of sales revenues. It's about the product's features. It's about the customer perspective or the customer feedback, their segmentation, customers, location, demographics. So it's completely different perspective. So as perspectives, these are actually based on the kind of stakeholders and their worldview of how they look at things. So some of the examples are agile. For example, agile is how you manage the change, how you accept the change, how you respond to the change. All of these are agile. Business intelligence is all about how you gather insights, analytics from the data. Information technology is again a perspective, how you use the information and how you can deliver the features through the technology. Business architecture, business process management, all of these are different ways of how you could deliver that. And then tasks are the discrete piece of work that you can perform either formally or informally. So we talked about different tasks. It could be prioritization, it could be assessment, validation, creation of wireframes, writing up user stories, all of these are tasks. And then the techniques could be, I think we're going to discuss them in greater detail next week, the techniques and tools. So we're going to talk about the business case. We can talk about the collaborative games such as 2020, and then game of, if you're put in a, for example, you've got a magic wand, what are the things that you can try and do? So that's a collaborative game. And then the show and tell is a collaborative game. So we'll talk about each of these in greater detail next week. Data mining is a technique. So data mining, data analysis, data modeling, all of these are different techniques. And the underlying competencies are basically the behaviors, the characteristics that you have either with respect to the analytical thinking. These are the skills that we talked about the last sessions last week.